Right mates, how's it going? In today's video, episode 15 of Beyond the Dark Portal by Aaron Rosenberg and Christie Golden. This chapter's a little bit all over the place, and then gets real soap opera-y. But let's go! Khadgar stared up at the alien night sky through his telescope. He quite liked the night sky in this world. It wasn't red for a start. Made him feel safe. He then noted a particularly bright star. It was a lot closer to a constellation that he'd named Turalian's Hammer than it had been before. How much longer? Damn it, Illyria. Stop sneaking up on me like that. Illyria looked Khadgar up and down, but then just sort of shrugged. I can't help it if I move quietly. Besides, you're so focused on the sky you'd fail to hear an ogre trundling up here. How much longer? The mage sighed and thought back to a whole bunch of scenes leading up to this moment. He could understand Illyria's impatience. They'd been here for several months already. After arriving on this world, the group had been met by a large number of orcs. But the Alliance emerged victorious from that battle and gained a foothold by the portal. Shortly after that, more troops and supplies came through, courtesy of the Alliance kings, and that had been a welcome sight. However, those supplies didn't last very long, and further supplies didn't arrive at all, and after sending a scouting party back through to Azeroth, they soon learned why. The orcs had regained their foothold on the other side. Turalian had optimistically predicted that they'd be able to mount an assault within a month, but with their supply line cut off, that wasn't going to happen. So the Alliance peeps did the only thing they could do, pushed inward, spending the past few months gradually building this outpost, on a hold. Wasn't completely finished, but they'd managed to get the outer walls and a couple of buildings erected at least. Say what you will about the orcs, but they've never been stupid. So why aren't they throwing everything in the kitchen sink at us? I don't know. I don't think we're too late to prevent Nazul from opening portals to other worlds, but why he's not done so already I'm not certain. He must need something else. Wouldn't it take massive amounts of power? Some very complex spell work. Maybe he spent all this time just working out the details. Doubtful. It's complicated, yes, but I imagine he was working on that whilst the artifacts were being retrieved. Scepter, book and eye. But what else? What is he waiting for? Now Khadgar had permitted himself to bring along a few items on this venture. A ring that enabled him to understand any language, as well as be understood, and some books. Spellbooks mostly, but there was one that once belonged to Medivh. It wasn't a particularly important book, but it did contain some notes about Draenor, or more specifically, its skies. So Khadgar would regularly amuse himself at night by spotting and naming constellations whilst letting his mind chew on Nazul's mystery. And it was one night doing that the answer finally came to him. Sort of. Scepter, book and eye! Eh? Lost your mind, have you, laddie? Get the others. We need to talk. A few moments later, when everyone had gathered and stuff, Turalian, you first. Look through the telescope. Tell me what you see. Turalian looked at Khadgar with utter bafflement, but obeyed. I see stars. What am I supposed to be looking at? Constellations. Groups of stars. What do they look like? Well, one's kind of a square. The other's long and thin. I can't see any other distinctive shapes. You're not used to looking at them. One of Medivh's many areas of expertise was astronomy. He had books with star maps of this world. What the hell are you talking about, lad? Look at this. Khadgar then thrust Medivh's star book into Kurdran's hands. What do you see? Constellation names. The staff, the tome, and the seer. Scepter, book and eye. Illyria looked at Khadgar, a twinkle of admiration in her eyes. So Nazul needed those artifacts because they correspond with this world's constellations. Yes. And no. There's much more. Once every 547 years there's a celestial event, which involves 3 stars. See that reddish dot in the middle of the book? That's the first thing that appears. In about a month, you'll be able to see a comet streaking through the scepter, and at the next moon cycle the moon will be full right smack in the middle of the eye. Apparently it's quite the spectacle. So if Nazul has items to correspond to these constellations, and he uses the artifacts at the right time, the harmony so established, a sympathetic resonance. Turalian, I don't think it would be possible to fail at any spell using that kind of energy. Turalian lifted his head from the telescope and uttered one word. When? 55 days, and the power will last for 3. And back to the present, where Khadgar could finally answer Illyria's question now that we're all caught up. I can't rush the stars, Illyria. We're one day closer than we were yesterday. Soon, soon, soon. Patience is a virtue. I'm sick of the platitudes, Khadgar. You know, for an elf, you're awfully impatient. Well, for a human, you're boring as shit. I want to fight, not be holed up here. You don't want to fight, Illyria. You want to die. Khadgar kind of regretted letting his temper get the best of him, whilst Illyria went very still. What's that supposed to mean? We've all seen it, Illyria. You rush out there on fire for blood. On fire for your revenge. You're reckless. You fight badly, Illyria, and you didn't used to. That's why Turalyon keeps ordering you to stay close. He's worried he's going to lose you. I'm not his to lose. I belong to no one but myself. Khadgar knew the best thing to do in this moment would be to drop the whole conversation, but he couldn't. He was bloody sick of all this soap opera nonsense. You don't even belong to yourself. You belong to the dead, but joining them won't bring them back. There's someone in this keep that could give you a life, Illyria. All you have to do is open yourself to something rare and wonderful instead of slamming doors. Illyria went ahead and marched right up to Khadgar's face. How dare you say such things to me? It's none of your business. Why do you care how I choose to live my life? Why do I care? Because I don't get to choose. The confession burst out of Khadgar before he could stop it, and things got real awkward real fast. He hadn't even really realised the truth himself, but there it was, out in the open, naked, for all to see. I know you think our lives are shockingly brief. Our youths are even briefer. What, 10 years, at the most? I didn't even get that. I became an old man at 17. I'm younger than Turalyon, Illyria. 22. And look at me. I look like a raisin. To watch the two of you throw away something I'll never have, it bothers me. It does. But I'm sorry. I shouldn't have taken it out on you. No, I'm sorry. I didn't think. A bit more awkward silence filled the air, until Khadgar sighed. Come on, let's go find Turalyon and the others. We need to finalise our plans. Sometime later, Turalyon had asked Illyria and her rangers to go scout the citadel, which you'd think they would have already done by this point, but okay. And now she was back, with her report. The place is enormous. The walkways on the walls alone support dozens of Orcs. There are watchtowers here. Illyria indicated on the map where the watchtowers were. We should attack from this area here. While you're distracting them, I can send rangers in and dispatch the sentries. Then open the main gate, so the rest of the fighting force can join us. We'll attack from above. Keep them busy, whilst you lads and lasses charge across to finish the job. Turalyon nodded, but Illyria shook her head. You'll be busy with your own problems, Khadgar. They've got dragons, remember? Ha! Aye. But only a handful, lassie. We'll be killing them before you can blink. Turalyon smiled at the Wildhammer's confidence, but still. Nonetheless, we'd best not assume any help from your Griffin Riders just in case. Khadgar, can you do anything to negate their warlocks? Or their dragons? I'm sure I can come up with something. I have some ideas that might give your Griffins even more of an advantage. And provide help for the soldiers as well. Great. The plan was all starting to come together, Turalyon thought. But now came the part he dreaded. We'll need someone to stay behind and be in charge of Honor Hold. Illyria, I'd like that to be you. You what, mate? It's key for someone I trust to stay here. Send your rangers to take out the sentries. No. Any soldier here would know how to hold this keep. My rangers answer to me, and I will not send them with you. Not if you order me to stay behind. Be reasonable. Reasonable. I'm a veteran of more battles than you have years, Turalyon. Illyria, you're reckless. I've saved your life and I've saved all of you. More than once. Khadgar turned to both Daneth and Curdran and indicated that maybe they should all bugger off and leave these two to their argument. And they all agreed that was a great idea and left. Illyria, you don't fight smart. Not anymore. I can't keep watching your back to save you from yourself. I have a right to revenge. They butchered my family, my people. You think Lirith would have wanted you to throw your life away? What kind of testament to his life would that be? 'Twas the first time Turalyon had spoken of Illyria's brother, and it completely caught her off guard. I know you're a good fighter, just not now. Lirith, the others. I wasn't there for them. I might have been able to do something, but I wasn't there. I stayed safe whilst they died. Tears now filled Illyria's eyes, and Turalyon inhaled swiftly. So I did the next best thing. I went after their murderers, and it helped. It kept pushing the pain away. More tears streamed down Illyria's face cheeks, which in turn caused some tears to start to well in Turalion's eyes as well. His heart was breaking for her, but she needed this. She needed to grieve. Killing Orcs was no longer working for her, no longer keeping the pain at bay, and she was starting to come undone by holding all of this in. I can't stay behind. Don't ask me to. I stayed behind the last time. I won't watch someone I love go to its death while I... Suddenly, Illyria's arms were wrapped around Turalyon, and her head was buried against his chest. I'll never leave you behind. and I will never leave you. And then they kissed, and probably banged furiously again. I don't know, I'm just glad it's over, to be honest.